Despite no hard evidence, Robert Mueller is dead set on continuing his investigation to prove collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. But he just ran into a major hiccup. And all it will take is one new piece of news to end his Russia investigation for good. The White House has come out stating that Robert Mueller's Russia collusion investigation will come to an end soon. Jay Sekulow, a member of President Trump's legal team, stood by this prediction, stating that Special Counsel Robert Mueller will be the one to end it.
Though, and this is what we should be concentrating on, despite this inclination or bias against President Trump, and despite the expenditure of $8 million and all of this effort by all of these smart people, what have they come up with? People point to the indictment of Paul Manafort. Sure, but that was about business dealings that predated President Trump's candidacy. It had nothing to do with President Trump. Right. They point to General Flynn, Michael Flynn, and his plea to lying to federal investigators. Again, that is about General Flynn. That's not about President Trump. So where do we sit this morning? We sit in a place where, despite all of this effort and all of this possible bias, with absolutely nothing implicating President Trump in the collusion, so-called, with Russia to influence the election.
There is collusion. It looks like there's collusion between Barack Obama's Department of Justice and the Clinton campaign.
Whether or not it is, Steve, whether or not it is specific cooperation or collusion.
But folks like Newt Gingrich are saying it's time to investigate that. That's where the real collusion is.
This is
not
my
worth
point.
finding justice.
Do we care about the 45th president of the United States being a success or not? Are we going to continue to look backwards at all of this crap?
But that's
or
all
are we going to now encourage this president to get his tax plan passed?
You also want to hold people accountable if they're doing things that are wrong and shady, so we can regain trust.
But I care much more about shouting from the rooftops. There's no there. Right. At what point do decent people say enough? The problem with special prosecutors, period, and that's why I absolutely oppose the appointing of another special prosecutor to review these controversies that we've been talking about this morning. They are self-perpetuating. They are funded, they are empowered, and they tend not to know when to stop, when to quit. At what point do you say, okay, I did it. Here's General Flynn, he lied. Here's Paul Manafort, he was a crook. And now let the president be the president.
But to Ainsley's point, at what point do you say enough? If you really want to restore faith in the FBI and the Justice Department, then you've got to strip out that bias and call it for what it is. Otherwise, saying, okay, Trump's innocent, which we know, and we're just going to sweep the rest of the stuff under the rug because we want to move on, it doesn't restore faith for anyone that we've actually held for account to those who used our Justice Department as a weapon.
Yeah.
When was the last time in anyone watching now, when was the last time you saw a special prosecutor say, okay, I've done it, this is the job, we're finished, I found what I found, I didn't find what I didn't find, now let's go on, goodbye, and now I go back, fade back into... It never happens. No. It never happens, just like a city job. Nobody ever quits a city job because you get paid, you get a pension, you get taken care of, you get full health, you get dental, eye care. Nobody ever quits.
Well,
no one ever quits a special prosecutor.
As reported by Breitbart, the White House continues to claim that Special Counsel Robert Mueller will end his inquiry into possible collusion between Donald Trump's 2016 presidential campaign and the Russian government. The Wall Street Journal reported Monday, in an interview Monday, Jay Sekulow, a member of the president's legal team, stood by the prediction that the part of the inquiry involving Trump would end soon. Still, he avoided any mention of specific dates. I know we, collectively, the lawyers, are looking forward to an expeditious wrapping up of this matter, Sekulow said. A spokesman for Mueller's office declined to comment. The Journal added, an outside legal expert Stephen Gillers, professor of legal ethics at New York University, said Monday he was dubious that Mueller's inquiry is barreling toward a swift conclusion. In August, Ty Cobb, one of the lawyers handling the White House's approach to the Russia inquiry, said, I'd be embarrassed if this is still haunting the White House by Thanksgiving and worse if it's still haunting him by year-end. However, with former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn pleading guilty earlier this month to lying to the FBI, and the ongoing prosecution of former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort on charges unrelated to the campaign itself, there is every possibility that the special counsel will extend his investigation for months or even years, even if he strays far afield from his original mandate to probe Russian collusion. This isn't very surprising to anyone paying attention to the developments of the investigation. The embarrassing news that two of the investigators had exchanged vehemently anti-Trump text messages while at the same time trying to claim that the investigation wasn't politically motivated is one of the major hurdles for Mueller. And to make matters worse, one of those anti-Trump investigators interviewed former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, which led towards his guilty plea. Beyond that clear proof of political motivation, the investigation has strayed far away from its original mandate of investigating Russian collusion with the Trump campaign. Former Trump campaign manager Paul Manafort is being investigated for charges completely unrelated to President Trump's campaign. If the investigation is to continue, it will likely stray far from its official intent. With every day that goes by, it becomes clearer the investigation was never about Russia. It was always about bringing President Trump down, and the longer the investigation stays alive, the better chance Robert Mueller will have to do that.
Well, where does the time go? It is now time for the final exam, where we see which news professionals, and they are, and contributors have been paying attention to current events. Tonight, we close the 2017 edition with a special year in review. Our questions just won't span this past week. All of 2017 is on the table. This week's contestants are really bright. They are Fox News contributor Lisa Booth, playing herself as Lisa Booth, and Mark Stein, who once hosted this show earlier in the week. Are you guys ready?
Yeah. I just want to say, I tried to get you to pull Donna Brazile this morning on Fox and Friends, and you wouldn't do it. So
I would not give you the answers.
You're
why?
An honest man.
And you know why, Lisa? They don't give me the questions ahead of time because they know I'd break. Meanwhile, our contestants have buzzers, and they have their hands on the buzzers. That's all I can ask you to do. I'm going to ask them questions just to review the rules, and the first one to buzz in gets to answer. You must wait until I finish the question before it's not like Family Feud, until I do it. If you get it wrong, it's not okay. You lose a point.
No.
If you get it right, you get a point.
Yeah.
And the best of these 5 questions gets winning.
As long as
what if we don't get any?
Yeah, like you did. I mean, with you against Shannon Breen, the ref should have stopped that fight and scraped what was left of you off the canvas. So as long as we don't, as long as we avoid the kill me scenario.
I thought if I did the best I can, it was okay, Mark.
I'm going to try to pull Shannon Breen.
All right, let's go.
She's on fire.
Ready? Sorry, Shannon, you're off, so these guys are on. Here's the first question. Cast your mind back to the beginning of the year. We were children then. There was a big mess up at the Oscars with the presenters for the Best Picture regarding... Okay, I'm going to review the rules one more time.
Yeah.
You have to wait until I finish the question.
Mark loses, I win, technicality.
Let's keep going with the presenters of the Best Picture reading out the wrong winner. Which 2 acting legends were left red-faced after reading the wrong card? Before you answer, Mark? Okay, give me your answer, Mark.
Did you finish reading? You finished reading.
Have you finished the question? Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty?
Let's watch.
The most embarrassing mistake, some are saying, in the award show history. Everyone talking about it.
Yeah, Warren Beatty, Faye Dunaway, Hollywood's Bonnie and Clyde coming out there, and they robbed the Best Picture winner of their title. They read the wrong card.
Moonlight was, in fact, the real winner. Turns out that the presenters were given the wrong envelope by mistake.
You are correct, sir. 1-0, Mark.
This is not a good start.
job.
I don't watch award shows.
Right.
Call me Shannon.
I think the excuses after getting it wrong make it all the worse, Lisa. All right, and thanks for almost getting it right, Mark, by paying attention to the rules.
Okay.
Question number 2 now. President Trump and North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un trading a lot of insults this year. Kim called Trump a dotard, among other things, and Trump unveiled his new nickname for Kim on the floor of the United Nations. What is that nickname? Lisa Booth.
Rocket Man.
Let's watch.
President Trump said the U.S. may have no choice but to, quote, totally destroy North Korea. And he called out the dictator, Kim Jong-un.
Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself and for his regime.
Rocket Man, obviously the Elton John song.
Right.
I don't know why anyone in the mainstream media is complaining, because he's calling, like you said,
We've never heard anything quite like that. Yeah.
A nickname.
Dotard is the Elton John song.
Well, you know, I don't think so. Judges, 1-1. Correct. The
As
judges
long as I get one.
And by the way, just to review the score, 1-1. We are tied. We move to question number 3.
All right.
Mark and Lisa still playing themselves in this game, and we are indeed almost live.
Playing ourselves poorly.
Donald Trump sent the mainstream media into a complete meltdown this year.
Which time?
After tweeting that could be the most famous typo of all time. What was that typo?
Oh. Confetti.
Is it Kofefi? Watch.
If you want me to say how to pronounce this word, I don't know. None of us here, Kofif, Kofef, none of us really know how to say this.
Kofif, Kofefi, we're going to let you make the call this morning. That's where it hit the glitch. Kofif, Kofef.
Kofefe?
Kofefe, because you speak fluent French.
I don't know. Does the president speak French?
Despite the constant negative press, Kofefe.
This is his best one yet.
That was, what a year this has been.
Yeah.
You are 100% right. Lisa pulls ahead 2-1.
Oh.
But it's a typo that Sean Spicer says was not a typo, which is still.
Which, how can that be?
How could he not just say he made a mistake?
It's
No, but it's a great word. I love it. It's a word of the year.
Use in the sentence, Mark Stein. I dare you. Okay.
I think he could probably do it, though. He's very smart. Mark is very smart. He'll figure it out.
The chemistry you two have is starting to bug me. Okay. Question number 4. It's a multiple choice question.
Okay.
Dig in. Hillary Clinton embarked on the world's longest book tour this year, and she explained in great detail all the things she has been up to since losing the election. She also revealed that she's been drinking a lot of alcohol to deal with the stress. What is Hillary's go-to drink of choice? Is it A, pina colada, B, Bloody Mary, or C, Chardonnay? Mark Stein.
Chardonnay. Lame choice.
Is it Chardonnay? Go to the tape.
I won't lie. Chardonnay helped a little, too. Yes, I had my fair share of Chardonnay, so trying to calm myself down and, my share of Chardonnay. It was a very hard
Who doesn't like Chardonnay?
transition.
My share of Chardonnay. That's another
I think that's all is the fix.
It's a very useful tool to bounce back.
What happened?
You are 100% right, Chardonnay. And let's go check the scores now. 2-2.
Oh.
Nobody, we've gotten the right answer each and every time.
Yeah.
So this will be the tiebreaker if my math is correct.
Oh,
and
wow.
often it isn't. All right, let's go. Final question. Back in the summer, ESPN faced a firestorm after it pulled an announcer from calling a University of Virginia football game. The reason? ESPN didn't like his name. What was the announcer's name? Oh.
Robert E. Lee. Robert Lee.
Lisa Booth says Robert Lee.
Robert Lee.
Judges, jot that down. Now I want to roll the tape.
I want to go to a Fox News alert. There are reports tonight that ESPN has pulled a football announcer from an upcoming game because of his name, which is Robert Lee. The twist? Lee is an Asian man, not exactly your vision of an unreconstructed Confederate.
I'm embarrassed for this year in news, okay? But I am not embarrassed to say Lisa has defeated Mark Stein by a final score of 3-2.
Can I
Lisa,
thank
you're
my
100%
parents
right.
for this moment,
Go
for
ahead.
believing me? I just want to thank my parents for believing me.
Right. And believing that you were smarter than Mark.
And what about your agent, your manager?
Everyone.
Come on, we won the full.
Thank God. Yeah, everyone.
Is this like the Oscars? Did you read out the wrong winner?
No. The winner is Lisa. Congratulations on the quick draw. You made Shannon Breen proud wherever she is.
I think she's still going to beat me, though.
Mark, I still consider you very bright.
And I still consider myself the second worst contestant after you.
Thank you very much. Somehow it always comes back to me. Lisa, Mark, great job. Thanks so much. That was your final exam.